and welcome to week 3 at Stay at Home Yoga. And I am actually at home, at my front door. There, you might hear some ambient noise on the street, and neighbors have a dog, and there's people strolling by. So we're not in a studio. This is real at home. Okay, so if you've been following along, this is week 3. Make sure you've done week 2 at least 5 days last week. 5 days. 5. I would suggest doing that before you move on to week 3. If you've done that, then here we are. We're ready for week 3, and I've pulled in a chair. And I know some of you are saying, Stacy, I can stand and walk. I don't need a chair for yoga. I know. We're not sitting in it until the end. So let's get going. You're gonna have your chair, yeah, like so. So the back is facing away from you. And if you remember last week, we started with some flowing chair. So we're gonna do that again. Make sure your feet are hip distance apart. You're gonna be reaching up on your inhales. Exhale, hands come down, hips shift back. So you have weight into your heels. Hands are forward, maybe forward and up. All right, depends on you. And you'll just flow with your breath here. Some of you are gonna do a slight bend in the knees. Others of you are gonna shift lower. It's all good. And you're gonna go until your legs heat up. So, 10 to 20 times. And then we're back to mountain. Here you're gonna pull in through your abs, squeeze your legs, relax your shoulders down, and palms face forward. Hold that for maybe 5 breaths. All right, then we take our hands down to the chair, shoulder distance apart, and I'm gonna step back. This is very much like we did in week 1, except now we're lower because we have the chair. All right, so feet are hip distance. I'm gonna keep going until I can straighten my back. So you can bend your knees a little bit if you need to do that in order to straighten your back. If you can do it with straight legs, so do with straight legs. We're gonna go from there. Take inhale, plank forward. Exhales, push back. And you can do this 5 to 10 times. So there's no set rules on this stuff. Remember, you're gonna keep pulling in through your core as you come in to your plank. Hold, straightening your back, pull in through your core. We're back to plank. You're going to make sure at this point that your shoulders are over your wrists. You can have your heels slightly off the floor if you need to. You're going to shift forward, keep your hips where they're at, elbows tuck in, slight bend on the elbow. Straighten. You can let your hips dip down, pull into your core, and then we're pushing back. Inhale, plank. Exhale, slight bend, shift forward. Got my up dog version. Push back. This is our simulated down dog. So make sure when you do your bend that you're not shifting back, okay? Those elbows need to stay over the chair. Slight bend. Hips can dip. Here's our up dog version. Push back. So you can do those at least 5 times. Shift forward, slight bend. Straighten the arms, shoulders shift down, and coming back. Let your hands go. We're now at half bend, and we're gonna let our head and shoulders come down. You can bend your knees if you need to. And just let your head dangle. Pull your shoulders up and away from the floor. Bend your knees again. We're coming on up. Here's the mountain. We're using that chair again. Bend the knees a little bit. Hands come forward. Here we change. I'm going to go ahead and take right knee forward, and you can come up onto your back balls to the feet a little bit if you want to. We're going to be doing a flow here, so it's exhale, push back, inhale, right knee forward. Exhales back, right knee forward. So I'm going to do this 5 to 10 times. And just for our demo, I'm only going to do 5, but if you can do more, do it. I switch sides. I've got left knee coming forward. And then we're ready to step right foot forward. Scoot your left foot back with the toes facing out just a little bit. Go as far as you can with keeping your back heel down. So some of us are going to have a short distance here, and some of us are going to have a long distance. Neither way is better than the other, yes? Squeeze your back leg, push your feet down and away from each other. We're going to lift off at that point. Hands are forward like you're holding a ball here. Notice your chest stays forward. This is a warrior one. Hands are going to come up. Straight arms, okay? So if you can get here with straight arms, great. If they're starting to bend, you've gone too far. All right, so you'll take your hands up as far as you can, but keeping your arms straight. We're going to hold our warrior one about 5 breaths, more if you'd like to, and we're switching sides. Scooch that right foot back as far as you can with the heel down. Toes are slightly out. Forward knee is over the ankle. Hands are forward like you're holding a ball. Come as far as you can with your arms straight. That back leg is straight, it's squeezing, and we're pushing feet down and away from each other. Pull in on your core. You'll take your hands up as far as you can with straight arms. So this is not straight, right? Ask your partner or look in the mirror if you're at home, if you're wondering. Check it, because we're not always doing what we think we're doing. Release. Right foot comes forward. This time, I'm going to take my feet like they're on runners. For warrior one, we have the heel in the back, the arch of the foot in the back directly behind the heel in the front. This time, I'm like my feet are on railroad tracks. I'm going to take that left foot back, and I'm going to bend right knee. So I got the right knee over the right ankle. You can keep your hands here on the chair if you want, although if you can come down, I'm going to scoot my chair back a little bit. If you can come down to your fingertips or the blocks, then you do that. Yes, that back knee is going to touch down. Hips are shifted forward. I'm going to get a little motion here. Pitch back on exhale. Inhale, drop the knee. And you can get your head going here too. Watch out for your chair, right? I'm going to go about 5 to 10 times. I'm going to dip that back knee down, and feel free to use a towel to put under that back knee, yes? Hands are going to come forward if you want them to. Notice I didn't let my hips shift back. I held them forward. So if raising your hands means your hips shift back, then don't raise your hands, right? You stay lower. All right. Shifting back a little bit. You can have your hands here or the floor. Coming on up. Feet are on railroad tracks. Right foot's coming back. I'm in my lunge. That back knee touches down, and I can have my hands here or the blocks or the floor. I'm going to take exhale, hips back. Your head, if you want it to dip, you certainly can. So it's inhale, lunge, exhale, shift back, you know, some of us are gonna have a small motion here, that's fine, and some of us are gonna have a larger motion. Neither is better than the other. When we've done that about 5 times, you dip your back knee down, shift your hips forward. The vast majority of us are gonna feel an intense stretch here, and that's okay, that's what we want. Make sure though that you are breathing smoothly and that your face isn't crunched up. When something gets hard, sometimes we carry the stress through our face and our limbs, so we're gonna release that, yes? All right, so hands could stay down at that point, or they can come up to the chair. Hips are still shifted forward. And when you've held that for about 5 breaths, feet are forward. I'm gonna step back away from my chair. And I got a nice forward bend here. So you can bend your knees a little bit, or you can do straight legs. If your legs are straight, then you're gonna squeeze them and your kneecaps are gonna shift up. You'll go down as far as you can. Wrap your hands around your lower leg. And hopefully you don't have a hoodie like me. And if you can, pull into this a little bit. Let your head dangle. Hold it 5 to 10 breaths. You can soften your knees here. You're gonna come up halfway, those hands come back. Notice my back is straight. I'm not gonna roll up like this. Doesn't that look so awkward? Yeah, straight back, make it majestic, yes. Hands are up, and we're back to mountain. Feet are hip distance apart, pull in core, roll your shoulders back. Open your hands towards the front. You'll stay there for about 5 breaths, and then we relax through our limbs. Notice we're not gonna slump. We're just gonna let our arms relax. And here's the part where you get to sit down. Yeah. So you can use that chair to sit, or I just happen to have a bench here, so I'm gonna try not to fall off of it. Anyway, feet are, you know, hip distance apart, hands can rest on your knees. Shoulders are relaxed. I'm gonna pull in a little bit on that core. Drop any tension that was on my face, and just hold this at least 5 breaths, okay? If you want to, you can take pointer and middle finger together. You only put them together so you could just feel the touch, and you'll hold them just like that. If you lose contact, just note that and come on back to it. Because if you lose contact, you then lost your concentration. 5 breaths or more, as much as you can do, yes? And you have survived week 3. You've seen all my little faux pas. But hopefully this is helpful to you. It should be more challenging than the other 2 weeks. If you need some modifications for your wrist, please let me know. You can leave a comment or you can email me. Happy to help you. But other than that, give me some feedback. Tell me how it went for you. Try and do this at least 5 times on week 3, all right? Okay, namaste, and have an awesome week. Stay at home yoga.